Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the WWE and the world of wrestling. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on the WWE 2024 draft. So, the 2024 draft is officially in the books. Night 1 of last week's Friday Night SmackDown episode and Night 2 of this following episode of Monday Night Raw are officially in the books, and the WWE draft has came and gone. So I'll be sharing my thoughts on how I believe this year's draft went. My honest opinion on this year's WWE draft. To me, the WWE draft was decent at best. I was expecting way more. This draft really did not pick up steam until the later rounds of night 2 of the WWE draft. Brands are nearly the same with a little sprinkle of change. I really thought we were going to see some dramatic changes in the WWE draft this year, but that did not happen. Not having champions eligible to switch brands for the WWE draft did not help. I think it could have been best for maybe the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn and the United States Champion Logan Paul to switch brands. I just thought that maybe Bayley go to Raw and Becky Lynch come to SmackDown. I thought we could have seen some of that. I think that having champions not eligible for the draft hurt. And I also think having the top tier star in the company, Roman Reigns, not eligible for the WWE draft truly hurt the WWE draft's production this year. So I thought it was decent at best. Not really significant changes to the rosters, really the same. But I would like to see WWE go back to the OG days. I'm talking about when you had the random draft generator where you had all three brands of Raw, SmackDown, and ECW at the time, where all their faces of each superstar was eligible and announcers were eligible, and they were drafted randomly to different brands. I really would like to see that in the future. And I do believe that Raw, SmackDown, and NXT being random brand generators would be fun to watch in the future. So I think that's something WWE and Triple H should consider in the future. But yes, I just thought the brands, the champions not being able to switch brands, I thought that hurt. Roman Reigns not being eligible, I thought that hurt. There's just some things they could have capitalized on, because what's the point of drafting a good 60% of the WWE roster that's very deep and has a lot of talent all across the board right now? Why would you waste several draft selections to have them stay on the same brand? That just didn't make sense to me. And also, I want to talk about this too for the WWE draft. It didn't make sense to me that you had competitors of wrestlers like Nia Jax drafted before LA Knight and AJ Styles. Or even though I'm a fan of Jade Cargill, she's being a first overall pick but getting drafted before Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Things like that are head scratchers to me, and I don't know. I just thought that this was decent at best, and I thought the WWE would have hit this out of the park, but it's just decent at best. I think this is something they got to consider for next year's WWE draft to make it better, make it feel special, and have some significance to it, like the old WWE drafts did, like I just mentioned. But the other thing that I am excited about, I will say, from the WWE draft is the NXT call-ups. Now, I'm excited about the NXT call-ups from really highlighting the call-ups for Carmelo Hayes officially being on the WWE roster, being a part of Friday Night SmackDown, Lyra Valkyria being a part of the Monday Night Raw women's roster that definitely needs a spark, in my opinion, because the SmackDown women's roster is stacked from top to bottom compared to Monday Night Raw's. Ilya Dragunov is going to be a huge addition to the Monday Night Raw. Can you imagine Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker, versus Gunther, versus Sami Zayn, versus Seth Rollins, versus Drew McIntyre? The list goes on and on of how many special matches that Ilya Dragunov can have on the main roster on Monday Night Raw. Braun Breaker officially being a main roster person, being a part of Monday Night Raw, leaving NXT for good. And Dijak finally being called up to the main roster. The man has busted his ass in NXT for countless years, having some classic matches with Keith Lee, who used to be a part of the WWE and the NXT. Man, Dijak has worked his ass off. I'm glad to see him. He finally on the main roster. Baron Corbin back. He's worked his way back. He was nearly released from the company in the summertime in 2023. He showed that he could still do magical things for the company, and he's back on Friday Night SmackDown now on the main roster. But I believe NXT moving forward It should be labelized as a third brand, not a developmental brand at this point, because we've seen how much the development has grown from NXT, and you see a lot of NXT stars that have taken the WWE by storm. I mean, there's countless NXT stars that have changed the game and revolutionized the game of WWE, starting off with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley. The list goes on and on of all the NXT call-ups that have transitioned themselves to the main roster. I don't think this should be labelized as the smaller brand. I think this should be labelized as a third brand. Again, it can be used for young talent still, but guys like veteran wrestlers or wrestlers that are on the verge of release would do well mixing up with the young stars, get some television time, and be maybe trusted with a championship run to see what you could potentially do on the main roster again. So I would like to see NXT labelized as that over the next 12 months for sure. But those are my thoughts on the WWE draft. Those are my thoughts on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT moving forward. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.